And let's look at these. All right, look at 1 through 6. What are the directions asking you to write? An equation. So your answer will be a y equals mx plus b. Yes? That's what your equation will look like. You need an m and a b. Okay. So they want this section for 1 through 6 to be a parallel line, which means it will have the same slope. All right, so you guys pick one for us to do. Four or six? Y'all pick. Four? All right. The first thing I need to do to this equation is what? Rearrange it. So I have negative, what goes in front of this y? A 1. So I have negative 1y equals, how would I move this 6x to this side? So negative 6x plus 1. Are y'all good? How would I get rid of the negative 1? Divide everything by negative 1. And so I have, I'm going to write it right here, y equals positive 6x minus 1. Are we good? All right, so I need to identify the slope. What is the slope? All right, so I have a slope of 6, but what do I need to solve for? The b. So I'm going to write y equals mx plus b, and I'm going to plug in this for x, this for y, and the 6 for m. Yes? So I have negative 5 equals 6 times the x, which is negative 5, plus b. Okay, so I have negative 5 equals, what's 6 times negative 5? Negative 30 plus b. How do I solve for b? Add 30. So what is negative 5 plus 30? So now I have my m and my b, so now I can write an equation, yes? So I have y equals 6x plus 25. Questions? Yes or no? We're all okay? All right, let's move to the next section. They want us to write an equation, but this time instead of being parallel, they want the equation to be, what does perpendicular mean? The slopes will be opposite reciprocal. Write that right here. Opposite reciprocal slopes. Okay, y'all pick one for us to do. Don't pick 7 through 9 because those are easier. Which one? 12. All right. The first thing I need to do is identify the m. Yes? And I need to find the slope and then make it the opposite reciprocal, right? Can you see the slope in this problem? Yes. Really? What form is this in? This is standard form. Can you see the slope in standard form? No. You must put it in what form? Y equals mx plus b, slope intercept. Otherwise, I can't see the slope. Make sense? All right, here we go. How do I move this 8x over here? So I have 3y equals negative 8x plus 7. How do I get rid of the 3? Divide everything by 3. Do you see the slope now? Yes or no? Do y'all see the slope now? Do you understand that you could not see the slope from right here? Because if you would have said the slope is 8, you would have missed the whole problem. The slope is negative 8/3, right? but we need the opposite reciprocal slope. So what is the opposite reciprocal of negative 8/3? Positive 3 over 8. Because you just flip the fraction and take the negative sign off. Everybody good? So now all I have to do is solve for the b. So I'm going to write y equals mx plus b. I'm going to plug in negative 4 for x. I'm going to plug in negative 8 for y. Everybody ready? So I have negative 8 equals 3/8 times negative 4 plus b. Okay, so I have negative 8 equals 3 times negative 4 is negative 12 over 8 plus b. Everybody good? That's not simplified. Your calculator would have given you 3/2. Yes? All right, how am I going to get b by itself? Plus 12/8. So I have negative 8 plus 12/8. And I got negative 6.5. Now do I have what I need to write my equation? Yes. Y equals 3/8 x minus 6.5. If you want to show your work on a separate sheet of paper, you can. The only thing different with 10 and 11 is you got to go rearrange the equation first before you can do the opposite reciprocal. On these, you can literally see the slope because they're in mx plus b form. Yes? Everybody okay? So these will be a little bit easier. All right, for 13 through 15, to determine which of the following lines, if any, are parallel or perpendicular. To do this, you have to compare their what? You have to compare their slopes. If the slopes are the same, they are parallel. If they're opposite reciprocals, they are perpendicular. Can you see all of their slopes in this? Okay, everybody go to this middle one right here on line C. Do you see how it says 2x plus y equals? I think that's supposed to have a 0. So put a 0 right there. So the first thing you're going to have to do is put it in y equals mx plus b form to find the slopes. Yes? Let's do number 14 together? All right, so can you see the slope of line A? Yes. What's the slope? All right, so I write it down. Can you see the slope of line B? No, so I have to rearrange it. So I'm going to pull this x. Now, what's in front of this x? I'm going to pull this into the right. So I have 2y equals 1x plus 3. How would I get rid of the 2? Divide everything by 2. So what's my slope? Okay. This last one, can you see the slope the way it's set up? I have to rearrange it. How do I pull this 2x to the right? So I have y equals negative 2x plus 0. Can I see the slope now? What is it? All right, so now that I have all the slopes, those are not my answers. Those will help me see if anything is parallel or perpendicular. Are any of these the exact same? Yes. So that means those are parallel, right? So what's parallel? So A is parallel to C. That's my first answer. Notice I just put it over here so that I can like box it in or something. Are any of them opposite reciprocals? Yes. What? So A is perpendicular to B, and A is perpendicular to C, yes? I meant B is perpendicular to C. Thank you. All right, so y'all can do the other two on your own. Let's flip to the back. This is kind of like the question from yesterday. Look what it's asking for part A. It says, write an equation that models part A. You can use stats. Everybody write that down. But to use stat, what do you need? 2 coordinates, right? So let's write a coordinate for this. Here's 0, so I'm at 0 what? 4. Okay, what's this coordinate? What's the x value? 3, comma, what's the y value? Good. And I need this coordinate. What's the x value? 3. What's the y value? Okay, so for part A, it wants you to write an equation for this section. That's these 2 coordinates, yes? Can I use stat? All right, for part B, it wants you to write an equation for this section. That's these 2 coordinates, yes? And stat will give you those equations. Then for part C, it says, do the kite parts form a right angle? What am I looking for? Are their slopes opposite reciprocals? Are they perpendicular, right? And the answer is yes, because the slopes are opposite reciprocals, or no, because the slopes are not opposite reciprocals. And then you don't have to do 17. Good? You'll have the whole class period, the rest of the class to get this done. Hopefully you can knock it out. I don't want y'all to have homework.